if it were not for this church praying for me, if it were not for Jim investing in me and staying faithful to the call that God put on his life, I don't know where I'd be.
My life was impacted beyond measure, and it really did save my life. I can't say it enough. I was lost, and the only thing that truly saved me was this church. Without it, who knows where I'd be.
I think what impacted me the most probably was the example my parents and my grandparents, the godly example they had. And the godly example, you know, you hear about your Sunday school teachers and your youth leaders and your pastors, and those all had positive influences on my life.
I feel like it would almost be easier to talk about how PittNaz and Overflow and the Homestead have not affected my life, just because everything about my life is because of PittNaz and being connected in the community that I've become a part of through all of that.
One of the ways that Pittsburgh Nazarene Church has impacted the community is by spreading what we did in Pittsburgh into Girard and starting of Living Faith Church in Girard. We had a great core group come from the Pittsburgh Nazarene Church. They and a few other people teamed up to really relaunch the church, and it has become a church that is healthy and makes an impact in Girard.
And something that I've always loved about PittNaz is I always liked how it was a smaller church, but obviously we've grown throughout the years, but it still feels like a family to me. And that is something that I think is really cool. And the hospitality, the generosity that PittNaz has for this community, for those in need, and for those within the congregation that need help. That is something that's always been very inspiring, very encouraging, knowing that there is so much love and generosity and servanthood that resides in this church.
When my grandparents were still alive, we had 4 generations coming to the Nazarene Church all together to get to raise my kids. That way is an awesome thing, but also for families coming in to realize, you know, our church meets the needs of kids, meets the needs of young families, empty nesters, and of, you know, elderly. We just seem to have ministries that meet all those needs.
We have seen an amazing progression just from the time that we started in year 1 to now. We're getting close to our 2nd year, and we have seen God work in some amazing ways. We've seen 22 people that have come to know the Lord, and that is a praise God for that. We have seen our attendance, even during COVID, we've seen averaging about 100 people coming on Sunday mornings. We've opened up kids and teens on Wednesday nights in this building that we totally renovated for that purpose. And just this recently on a Wednesday night, we had 23 teens there with 8 salvations that night. And we've been having 15 to 20 kids there on Wednesday nights. So God is doing amazing things. We've seen baptisms. This is just the beginning of this movement of God that is taking place that we are participating with in Columbus. And we look forward to what He's going to do next.
But I think spiritually the church has been an outstanding outreach, and people know that they can know Christ and find Christ and the experience that Christ brings. There's many ways that we're doing it, but I can still see in some of the areas people are responding to the gospel, and that's what's the most important thing.
Personal blessing. Coming to this church, Steve and I were the young couple. And now, I'm that older person that was there when we first came. And it's been such a blessing to see young people grow up, go into the ministry, serve here or serve someplace else. And it's truly a blessing to grow old in a good church.